back, guys. Wow, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this right now. Main episode 5, season 3. Don't have much to say because we got a lot to talk about. Yeah, we got a lot of stuff in stupid statistics. We got a lot of stuff for racing. We got a lot of stuff for soccer. And then, of course, we will have our radar points to close out the episode. But don't forget to subscribe, turn on your post notifications, like this video, leave us a comment about anything pertaining to this episode. We enjoy reading them, but we are here with your weekly sports recap. So anything that has happened in the world of sports, or I guess I should say almost anything that has happened in the world of sports, we will talk about and kind of give you a little rundown on what's been going on in the world of sports this past week. So to start off our episode, we are going to start off with stupid statistics, which for those of you who have no idea what stupid statistics is, it's kind of just like our little thing, our quite literally stupid statistics that have happened. Sometimes it's a little bit serious and it's just like, well, we're not going to create another section in our video for it.
No.
But other times they're actually funny, and I think that like having something fun to start off the episode always helps.
Definitely. Especially if it's a lot of information. But first things first, we have Brady Tkachuk is heading to Florida Panthers, where his brother Matthew plays.
And they tore it up in the Olympics together. So now I guess the Panthers are looking at bulking up their roster.
Okay. All right. We'll see how that goes. And then we have the Hurricanes. Jordan Staal finished with a 68% faceoff win rate during the Stanley Cup Final, which is the highest percentage ever recorded in a final. Ever recorded, not record.
You got there.
Moving on. Yeah. And then we have Lionel Messi has more wins at Arrowhead Stadium than Derek Carr.
Yikes.
Messi is 2-0 at Arrowhead, and Carr is 1 win and 9 losses. Messi has also become the first player ever to score 800 non-penalty goals.
How
does that feel, Carr?
Which is crazy.
It is Messi. Who doesn't love Messi? He's iconic.
True.
And then we have own goal is the top scorer in the World Cup right now with 8 goals. Oh, well. That's a tongue twister right there. You're going to be like, wait, what? That's funny. And then we have Brazil's forward, Rafinha, has picked up a muscle injury in his right thigh. Brazil are hoping that it will be a short recovery.
Yeah, well, I don't know. To me, initially it looked like it was just a cramp. But apparently it's worse than that. And he's obviously one of their starters. So that sucks for them.
Speaking of cramps, did y'all see one of the refs got a cramp during the USMNT in Australia? I just remember looking at him and be like, oh, we're paused. He had a cramp. Pickle juice to the rescue. But that's besides the point. Speaking of USA's defender Chris Richards has misplayed only 4 passes this whole cup. That is the second highest passing accuracy, with a minimum of 100 attempts, by any player in their first 2 career World Cup appearances among players to debut since 1966. A total is 175 passes out of 179 passes.
Which is insane when you think about it. The fact that only one other player has a higher passing accuracy than him for their wild.
And then we have Poch is the first manager in 96 years to win back-to-back World Cup games for the U.S. I just have to mention that the first time I saw this man, I also thought he was Russell Crowe. And so when everyone started saying he looked at him, I was like, oh, that's who it is. Because, like, this man looks so familiar, but why? And it's because he looks like Russell Crowe. Have I seen a lot of Russell Crowe movies? No, I have not. But why I know him beats me. But moving on. And then we have the U.S. is the first team in World Cup history to benefit from an own goal in consecutive matches. Also already doubled USA's goal count from the 2022 World Cup. Of course, this is our year, guys.
So I just want to say, I don't know what he who shall not be named was doing, but the fact that we've already doubled it through 2 games, and we advanced out of our group last time, so we played at least 4 games. What was he doing, bro?
Wow.
He, honestly, I'm glad he's no longer our coach. And he, honestly, I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. He was a terrorist for this team. Let me just say that. He flat out was. The fact that we only scored 3 goals last World Cup, and we already have 6, he was a flat out terrorist for the team. That's all I'm saying.
But moving on, then we have Mercedes F1 team have never suffered a double Q1 elimination in the current qualifying format.
I'm speaking it into existence.
Can you hear my dog at the
No.
door? Okay, good. And then we have the Green Bay Packers safety Evan Williams rode in the pace lap before the IndyCar race.
He was going nuts. He looked like he was having the time of his life.
I would have the time of my life if I did that, so valid. And then we have Felix Rosenquist has reportedly been offered a deal with Andretti Global for the next season, taking Marcus Ericsson's seat. Erickson?
Yes.
Yeah, sorry guys. That one got me.
But Ericsson had like a semi-decent race today, and he was like, well, don't worry about it, because I think the talks will be positive in my favor. Come to find out that this has happened, and Felix just won the Indy 500, so he's looking at moving Meyershank Racing. Oh.
And then we have Chase Elliott, William Byron, and Alex Bowman make their 286th start as teammates today, tying Jeff Gordon, Jimmie Johnson, Dale Jr. for the second most starts for any teammate trio of all time. Okay, the top trio is Biffle, Edwards, and Kenseth. Thank you. I wanted to say just Kenseth, but I was like, I don't know if that's right. With 301 starts, which the Hendricks trio could break before the end of the season. Oh, that was like a tongue twister for me, guys. I don't know, man. But speaking of racing, now to racing.
Right, so while we're talking about NASCAR, we'll just stay there. So we had the Anduril 250 that was today, or Sunday, June 21st at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. This was at the Navy base, so that was pretty cool to watch that. Our Stage 1 winner was Ryan Blaney. Our Stage 2 winner was Ryan Preece. Huh. Anyways, sorry, we're gonna ignore that. Our Stage 1 winner was Ryan Blaney, our Stage 2 winner was Ryan Preece, and our race winner was none other than Corey Heim, who drives the 67. It was a great time. What a great time. Bubba Wallace came in second, Kyle Larson in third, AJ Allmendinger in fourth, Riley Herbst in fifth, Zane Smith in sixth, Chris Buescher in seventh, Ryan Blaney in eighth, Ross Chastain in ninth, and Michael McDowell in 10th. So a little recap here. The start, Kyle Larson took the lead from the inside lane on the start. whatever. I don't know. Either way, Kyle Larson gets P1. And then lap 12, Ricky Stenhouse stalled his car for the first caution, and then Christopher Bell hopped out of his car because a couple weeks ago in that wreck with Chase Elliott, he picked up a wrist fracture. So I guess he was in a lot of pain, and he swapped out with Brent Cruz. So Cruz took over for the rest of the race for the 20 car. And then lap 18, Bubba Wallace lost his front right tire. This resulted in our second caution. Lap 20 was our stage conclusion, so we stayed under caution there. Lap 32, Austin Hill missed turn 1 while battling for first, so this ended up forcing a red flag due to the damage and debris and a whole 9 yards of everything that happened. They said it was like at least 9 cars involved with this, so that was great. And it was like low-key it wasn't good because Hill I don't know, his car got too loose and completely missed the turn, so he went in to Connor Zilish, who was on the outside, and then SVG was behind Connor, and it just was a domino effect. And somehow some of the cars were able to get out of it, but others, like SVG and Zilish, saw their day be done. And lap 44, we ended up getting another caution for debris on the track yet again. Lap 49, Kyle Larson passes Ryan Blaney for P1 after Blaney ended up there through the pit cycles. Lap 51, Brent Cruz, as I said, in the 20 car, had a gearbox failure. That was when it was officially flagged. The initial issue actually started on lap 30. And then lap 60, we had a caution for Ricky Stenhouse. And this is where the oil spilled on the track, so they had to, of course, throw a caution in order to clean up the oil because it was in a downhill zone and you really don't want to be racing onto oil. So, and then lap 66, Corey Heim spun out Carson Hocevar. This was through the little section that's kind of like the pool in Monaco, where it's the little zoop zoop, and Carson it wasn't great, and there was contact, and I'm like, well, had this been similar to F1, the guy would have gotten a penalty. And so then I was like confused, and I was like, I really need to learn more of the rules for NASCAR so I know what I'm saying. And I still have yet to do that. So if you could explain to me why Heim didn't receive a penalty for that spin out of Carson Hocevar, that'd be great. Let me know. And then lap 73, Tyler Reddick was in the lead after that spin out from Hocevar and Corey Heim doing that. So Reddick's front left tire is completely gone. He blows it. Corey Heim then takes over for the lead, and 2 laps later, Corey Heim wins. So our DNFs included SVG, Connor Zilish, Austin Hill, Noah Gragson, and Tyler Reddick after he blew his front left tire. The standings have not yet updated, so I'm not going to do those. But our next NASCAR race will be Sonoma, and that will be Sunday, June 28th, so next week, and that will be at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Last year's winner was SVG, so we'll see if SVG can get that win. And Chase Briscoe finished second, and Chase Elliott finished third. But now we will go over to IndyCar. I have mixed feelings about this race, and after seeing my driver's social media for a couple minutes, just a little peep here and there, I'm not overly happy with how the race went for my driver, so excuse the animosity and sarcasm if you hear that from me at all. So it was the XFL race, which is Let me pull it up here. Which is at Road America. So nice. So our recap, that's how I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do the recap and then I'm gonna do into the race results. So lap 1, Christian Lundgaard gets damage to his front wing because he was 3 wide with Scott Dixon and someone else on his inside. Nolan Siegel lost 2 spots. Pato O'Ward was up 1. Marcus Armstrong was able to pass David Malukas, and Alex Palou maintained his lead. So there was a little bit of split strategy going on within the teams themselves, and some of them decided to start their drivers on the primaries or the hards, and others decided to do the alternates or the softs. And the softs, they gave you a little bit of extra pace for the first, I don't know, maybe 5 laps, and then they kind of like dropped, but then they would plateau. Whereas the hards took a little bit to ramp up, but then eventually they would give you a longer form in having grip and whatnot. So they were kind of split within the top 10 on what all to even be doing. But the thing is, for me, with Arrow McLaren, we had 2 cars within the top 10 and they were on the same strategy. So it's like, why did one not differ to see if that would work out? And then even then, Christian Lundgaard was in 12th, before the damage and everything, and he was on the same strategy. So it's like, why did McLaren not split? You have 3 drivers here. Like, I'm pretty sure Scott McLaughlin and David Malukas were on different. No, they weren't. Just kidding. Them to Joseph Newgarden, they were on different, but Joseph was P18, and McLaughlin and Malukas were up towards the front. So, I don't know. It's just like, why did they not split strategy? Anyways, so lap 2, Felix Rosenqvist closes in on David Malukas, and he has 0.4 to the gap. I'm choking. It's okay. So lap 2, the gap between Felix Rosenqvist and David Malukas is 0.4 seconds. Lap 3, Marcus Ericsson, as we were talking about earlier, was able to put on a move over Scott McLaughlin for 5th. Lap 13, Pato O'Ward passes Cal Collette. Lap 14, Alex Palou pits alongside Marcus Ericsson. Lap 14, Alex Palou pits alongside Marcus Armstrong, David Malukas, Dennis Hauger, and Kyle Kirkwood. And this comes in response to other teams that were on the soft tires pitting earlier, such as Will Power and a couple of other drivers. So then lap 15, Roman Grosjean loses his left rear tire and he continues around the track. However, this does not go without bringing a caution out. Then we finally get back to green. In lap 21, Santino Ferrucci passes Joseph Newgarden. Lap 29, Alex Palou gets noted for pit lane speeding. He ends up getting hit with a penalty, and that penalty is a drive-through penalty. And when he gets hit by that, the announcers start going nuts, and they're like, oh, he's out of the race. He's done. And then, literally, not even a lap later, Christian Rasmussen stops on the main straight, and this brings out a full course caution. And I think that they said he had a mechanical issue here. No, it was a hybrid issue. And his car just completely shut down, and there was nothing that he could do to get the car up and going again. So then lap 33, we go green, only to go back to yellow again because there's debris on the track, and people are running over it, and someone picked up damage from it. So they had to yellow it again. And then lap 36, we go back to green. Marcus Armstrong is in the lead over Felix Rosenqvist with a 2.1 second lead. Lap 43, Marcus Armstrong pits. This puts Christian Lundgaard temporarily in the lead. And then lap 45, Lundgaard pits, and he blends out alongside David Malukas, who kind of forces him. They got a little bit elbows out there, and Malukas ended up on the grass. needless to say. But then 3 laps later, lap 48, Lundgaard is able to pass Malukas for second. And then 3 laps later, Marcus Armstrong looked like he was set for a win, and then his engine goes and blows up. And you know what this was giving? This was giving Lando at Zandvoort last year, and just being like, the car is smoking! He's on fire! That's what this was giving, because I remember seeing the puff of smoke when it started for Marcus Armstrong, and I was like, this cannot be happening 2 years in a row to me. This cannot be happening. And it was. So his engine ended up failing, and the smoke was not great. So that brought out another caution, and then lap 55, we finally went back to green. This was the last lap of the race. Christian Lundgaard made it all the way back around. However, going into one of the turns, Will Power and Graham Rahal collided in their battle for third. Will Power was able to continue, but not without spinning Graham Rahal out. So that ended Rahal's race, unfortunately. So, podium was Christian Lundgaard as our winner, David Malukas in second yet again. I think he's finished second 3 races in a row now. And Will Power in third. So 4th place was Kiffin Simpson. 5th was Alex Palou. 6th was Alex Rossi. 7th was Scott McLaughlin. 8th was Felix Rosenquist.
I'm not numbering them.
Rucci, and 10th was Kyle Kirkwood. Yeah, I got a little lost there. So 11th was Scott Dixon. 12th was Pato Award. 13th was Marcus Ericsson. 14th was Louis Foster. 15th was Roman Grosjean. 16th was Cal Collette. 17th was Mick Schumacher. 18th was Renus VK. 19th was Stingray Robb. 20th was Dennis Hauger. 21st was Nolan Siegel. And 22nd was Joseph Newgarden. And before we get to our DNFs, Siegel looked like he was on for a PR best. But then on the last couple restarts, he lost out because he got pushed wide, and that wasn't great. But our DNFs, obviously we said Christian Rasmussen with his hybrid system failure, Marcus Armstrong with his engine blowing up with 5 laps left of the race, and Graham Rahal with the contact in the last lap. So our championship, Alex Palou still sits in first with 374 points. David Malukas is still in second. He seems to like second a lot here. 314 points. Kyle Kirkwood is in third with 313 points. So David must have just jumped up over Kyle. And Lundgaard in fourth with 297 points. Pato Award in fifth with 257 points. So he's got a big gap to his teammate there. Felix Rosenquist is in sixth with 248 points. Scott McLaughlin in seventh with 248. Oh, so they're tied. And then Joseph Newgarden in 8th with 247 points. Marcus Ericsson in 9th with 213 points. And Scott Dixon in the top 10 with 211 points. So our next race for IndyCar will be Mid-Ohio, and that will be Sunday, July 5th at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time. So hopefully that doesn't overlap with Silverstone. And last year's podium was Scott Dixon winning, Alex Palou in second, and Christian Lundgaard in third. So now we'll go over to soccer.
All right, guys. So we have match day 2. I think that will be New Zealand versus Egypt, Argentina versus Austria, France versus Iraq. I'll put the pictures for all of those. So hopefully I did that while I was saying it. And then we have Norway versus Senegal. And then we have France and Norway, Argentina, Austria, Portugal, England, Croatia, and Colombia. Okay, cool. So the World Cup group stages games that were played up until today at 7 p.m. We have Saudi tie Uruguay 1-1. We have Iran tie New Zealand 2. We have France beat Senegal 3-1. and Elise had an assist and was man of the match. We had Norway beats Iraq 4-1. We have Argentina beats Algeria 3-0. The Messi hat trick. And then we have Austria beats Jordan 3-1. England beats Croatia 4-2. And of course Harry Kane with the brace, and he was also man of the match. And then we have Portugal tie Congo 1-1. And then we have Ghana beat Panama 1-0. And then Colombia beat Uzbekistan 3-1. And then Lucio had a goal, and he was also man of the match.
Right. And then so that was the recap of match day 1 that was able to finish out. So now on to match day 2, where we had Mexico beat South Korea 1-0. However, Korea, in my opinion, got robbed. That goal shouldn't have counted. The goalie got impeded, but that's okay. Czechia tie South Africa 1-1. Canada beat 9-men Qatar 6-0. Qatar had 2 reds, and the one red, the guy literally broke the Canadian's leg. So yeah, that was nasty. I actually didn't see the video. Julie saw the video before I did, and she sent it to me, and I was like, oh, that's disgusting. But you and me both. But Switzerland beat Bosnia and Herzegovina 4-1. Brazil beat Haiti 3-0. Morocco beat Scotland 1-0. 10-men. Paraguay beat Turkey 1-0. Germany beat Ivory Coast 2-1. That was a thriller. That was great. The Netherlands beat Sweden 5-1. Japan beat Tunisia 4-0. Ecuador tied Curacao 0-0. That's a huge result for Curacao. And they pick up their first World Cup points on that as well. Spain beat Saudi Arabia 4-0. Iran tied 10-men Belgium today 0-0. Huge result out of that. And with that result, that puts Belgium out of the USA's side of the bracket for advancing.
Yeah.
So we take that. And then this is not updated. So hold on. Let me pull this up. Because it was being played while I was doing the notes. I know that's not right. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. So, Cabo Verde tie Uruguay 2-2. This is huge. Huge result from both sides. And the fact that Cabo Verde still are picking up points, they're not eliminated from their group yet, they can still advance. So that will be
crazy.
That will be fun to watch their third game because, let's see, their next game is against Saudi Arabia. So they could win that game. And let's see. And the top 3 from their group advance. So they're in a position to advance right now. Essentially, they can tie and still they advance. So I'm pretty... I'll have to figure that out later anyways. But yeah, huge result for Cabo Verde over, well, I mean, I guess tying Uruguay, so whatever. But then we have the game I like to talk about the most, is USA beating Australia 2-0. The US had 2 shots on target, 8 shots total, 63% of possession, and 7 corners. We had our goal, which was an own goal, and then the other one by Alex Freeman in the 43rd minute. We were also playing without Christian Pulisic, so imagine us not playing with our best player for 1.5 games. Christian's only played 45 full minutes for us this World Cup, and
I know.
we've advanced without him playing all those minutes. So I'm happy about that. So we end up with this result, and of course help from Paraguay, finishing first in the group. So we will advance to the round of 32. We will play on July 1st. Our opponent is TBD. It will be a 3rd place team out of 4 of the groups, so we'll have to see who we end up getting. I don't think we'll know until the last match day. So we'll have to stay tuned for that. But we are not the only team that has already booked their round of 32 spot here. Sorry, I can't breathe. Oh my gosh.
Fine. I just want to preference that this fly has been flying around my room this whole time, and it's pissing me off.
I haven't noticed.
It's pissing me off. I'm like, I love summer, don't get me wrong. But the one thing I hate about summer is the freaking flies. I live out in the middle of nowhere. We're gonna get them every once in a while in our house. It shows my room, which means I'm gonna have to turn all the lights off in my room and turn a light on in another room, so it'll go to that room so I can get out of my room. This isn't my first rodeo, guys.
But we are not the only team to advance through to the round of 32 so far. Mexico and Germany are the other two teams that have booked their spots as well. The teams eliminated are Turkey, Haiti, and Tunisia so far. That being said, we do still have some match day 2 games being played, so the game's the game. But match day 3, groups A, B, and C will all play their final match day on Wednesday. Groups D, E, and F will play on Thursday. Groups G, H, and I will play on Friday. And groups J, K, and L will play on Saturday. So I'm assuming we'll know before Saturday who we're playing, but don't quote me on that. So, because we won't be playing till Wednesday. So essentially we could find out on Saturday who we're playing. That would suck for the team that plays on Saturday, but
yeah.
Oh well, the game's the game, you know what I'm saying? But don't forget, I will be going to the game on Thursday, so you can look forward to a vlog from me within the next week or two here.
I'll be here.
But no, oh, you can do it. You can do it. I'll let you do it.
I was gonna say, okay, guys, we have radar point. I don't remember what I said for the last video, guys. I was in a different location, and it was a hot mess. But I think I said the USMNT game, so I'm gonna go with that. And then M had the World Cup games this week. France versus Senegal, England versus Croatia, USMNT versus Australia, and then the Netherlands versus Sweden. We know those results, so now to next week's. Or this week's, I guess. Mine is the Austria Grand Prix. I'm excited to see how that goes, considering last race kind of had some better results, but some weird ones at that. Anyways, to M.
I'm still sticking with the World Cup games. Pretty much will. I don't know. I didn't really look into who's playing, but we're finishing out the group stage, so clearly just watch them all at this point because only 3 teams have advanced so far, and wouldn't you want to know if your team is advancing or not? So, yeah, I think I am going to have my eyes on the Bosnia games and the Iran games because I think that there's potential for us to play Bosnia first, and then when we win that, we would play Iran, assuming Iran advances through. But we'll have to wait and see. So, also, I'm curious to see how Spain end up doing because Spain will play Uruguay on Friday at 8. And to me, that seems like that would determine the winner of the group, I think. So that could be a good one to watch.
Interesting. Well, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It was less chaotic than last week's video, and I'm still sorry about that. I hope you guys liked this video, and if you liked this video, please like this video. Comment down below any of the games you're excited to watch, or any pointers on NASCAR, because we're both still kind of learning NASCAR. So if you have any pointers for that, let us know. And no, we're not going to like Denny Hamlin. You could tell us multiple times, but the answer is no. Leaving that there for you. But I hope you guys enjoyed this week. Again, don't forget to subscribe and turn on our post notifications because we do have other videos coming out. We'll have our F1 video coming out, the preview. It will be a shorter video just because there won't be a lot to talk about, but there will be some, so if you don't want to miss it, go check it out when it comes out. And go check our other social media links in the description below, if I can talk tonight, because we will be having a live stream sometime next month. Do we know when? No, but it will happen, so if you don't want to miss that, follow our other social media pages because we talk about it on there. And that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video.